Hey, what's up guys, Elo here. This is just the one of my second FPV videos I'm uploading. It's more video shot with the Fat Shark Predator V2, kind of the ready to fly FPV system. This time pushing the distance out to about 0.44 miles, almost half a mile, about as far as I'm comfortable with going without GPS for the return home function. So that's about as far as I'm going to push it as the quad sits right now. Hey, a quick note, if some of you guys watched the last flying video, sorry about that, I hit the keyboard. If you watched the last flying video, towards the end of the video when I had the bird a decent ways out there, it actually lost signal and it went into failsafe, and it was kind of flying by itself for a second, and I mentioned that it was because of a park flyer receiver. And the only reason I had a park flyer receiver in it was because that's what I had laying around at the time. Most of my 3D helis and stuff, the smaller ones, you don't get them out there far enough where you really need a full range antenna. So to rectify that, I've put a new receiver on the Flamewheel here, and pushed that out there decently far away, and haven't had any issues. So the main difference between as far as 2.4 gigahertz is concerned, the full range and the park flyer, is the, if I can get this up here, well, here's the receiver. This receiver is really similar to any park flyer receiver. It's got the small short antennas. The problem is when you get it far away, if the bird does this, or it's turned in any orientation where those antennas are out of line of sight, because 2.4 gigahertz is line of sight, you're going to lose connection basically. So the full range versions have this satellite receiver. Oops, that's the back, my bad. It's over here. This satellite receiver, and what that does is, if the bird's way up high and the top of this thing, isn't visible via line of sight, this receiver is going to keep it locked in. So the whole idea is that no matter what orientation of the thing flying around, it stays line of sight to you from above or below, and so that you keep nice solid signal. And I've pushed it out there pretty far on this receiver and haven't had any problems like I did in the last video. So anyway, just wanted to update that. I said I would update on what was going on there, and just to give you guys some advice if you're building one of these or flying or whatever. If you're going to be doing FPV and you're going to get out there a ways, you're going to want a full range receiver like the airplane guys use, because with FPV you get really far away from yourself without realizing it, and it's really easy to fly out of range. If you're just flying it via visual in your yard or whatever, the cheap park flyer receivers are just fine. FPV definitely went full range. So I knew that, I just didn't have one, so I almost paid the price. Luckily nothing bad happened. So anyway, here's the, enough blabbing, sorry, here's the flying video. Enjoy. Thanks. Alright, here we go, taking off from the old picnic table, jetting out across this field here. It's pretty nice having this real close to the house because I have lots of room to fly. Come off the sticks here for just a second while adjusting the goggles. It's not a signal drop or anything, you'll see things kind of stop. This house I'm heading to here is actually my parents' house, so no big deal about me flying up over their roof. I don't recommend, if you don't know who your neighbors are, that you buzz around over the roof with your quadcopter / UAV. I don't know what the legal implications of that are, so just keep in mind I have permission to be flying in this airspace where I'm at. Here the quad's getting blown away quite a bit. When you get up above tree level, the wind really picks up, so it's really pushing it pretty hard. My erratic flying here has a lot to do with just getting used to the thing. I'm still getting accustomed to flying first-person view. I can kind of see why people are using OSDs now, which is on-screen display where you can see lines to match up with horizon, things like that. We're really leaning into the wind to get it to come back. It really gets hard to judge how level the aircraft is. So you start to understand things like that you've seen in the movies and the military channel or whatever, why they have that kind of stuff. You can see the thing's really banked over. That's just flying into the wind. It's really, really strong. It's a little bit scary when you get up there sometimes when the wind just picks the thing up and takes it. It's like, hope I can get it back. Finally back to my comfort level. I just had to sit down and hover there for a second while I did some more adjusting. I've been fighting fog a little bit on the goggles, so I have to let go and kind of air those out to clear the fog. Flying with the wind there, picks up speed pretty quick. Here the wind's pushing me out over the road. It's not our property on the other side of the road, so I'm trying not to fly there. My mom and my daughter are actually out on the back deck of that house watching, so I try to fly it over them so they can see what's going on. Freaking their dogs out a little bit. Here the wind's pushing it. Getting pretty used to how the wind is really affecting the thing, so you get a little more comfortable with it at that altitude, so start flying a little bit harder. Probably the most, and this is a descent right here, the most unnerving thing about flying quadcopters is it feels like they don't want to come out of the sky. A traditional helicopter, you have negative pitch to help you come down. The effect when you're not trying to climb but the thing is climbing is called ballooning, and that's just wind going over the top of the rotors creates additional lift and makes it hard for you to come down. Regular helicopter, you can just put a little bit of negative pitch on the blades and force yourself out of the sky. Well, the quad uses fixed pitch rotors, so you don't have any choice but to cut throttles and bring RPM, that it makes things kind of shaky coming down. Anyway, we're going to get some speed. Imagine the quad's probably doing around 50 miles an hour there, maybe close to 60. I'm going to stick a GPS on it one of these days and see what kind of speeds it gets up to and get altitude. And going to do a little bit of outlaw flying here. Not too much. That is 29 highway. You see in the background there, it's the kind of main stretch of highway that goes between Kansas City and St. Joseph, Missouri. I'm lucky that I'm kind of out in the country. I can do this kind of stuff without having to worry about pissed off neighbors and authorities and that kind of stuff. At this point, I think I'd climbed a little higher than I intended to. That kind of happens when you're flying FPV. The thing does things that you don't realize what's going on. So here I'm just trying to scrub a little altitude off. Not that it'll make much difference. I think if it falls from either altitude, it'll probably break stuff pretty good. Right now, since I'm kind of new at this, I feel a little more comfortable flying a little lower altitude. and cutting this flight short. Running the video transmitter. I'm still kind of pushing the battery, seeing how much is left when I get into the flight, so I don't really know how long my flight times are. So right now I'm reining them in at about 10 minutes. So reining in for landing, got a little bit of grass. Alright, well that's it. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too bad. Thanks for watching. I got more videos coming up. Got some new products in from VP, so new videos coming up here real soon. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.